Lottery Agent Island-wide.
So play today. Rams the good food people, always there to serve you. Rams the good food people, locations right near you. Rams the good food people, in-store specials for you. Rams the good food people. Rams. When you need better service, Rams is always here. Better value, better prices. Rams is always here. Rewarding your loyalty. Rams is always here. We are community. We are family. We are family. Rams for you and me. We are community. Rams for you and me.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
Here comes the Mega Ball. You could win more with the Mega Ball. Pick 3 and pick 4 and you could get all.
Yes, playing Pick 3 and Pick 4 with the Caribbean Lottery just got more rewarding. Now you can win more with the Mega Ball. For just an extra $1, increase your winnings by $1,000 with the Pick 3 and a big $10,000 with the Pick 4. Don't wait, play today. Play Pick 3 and Pick 4 with the Mega Ball at Caribbean Lottery Agents Island-wide.
You ready to win a little extra? Then get on the ball.
Must be 21 and over to play.
Good morning and good morning. Once again, a pleasant good morning to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Welcome to today's edition of Island Tea. It is the 16th day of February 2026. For those of you celebrating, be it a birthday, an anniversary, a graduation, whatever you're celebrating, a promotion at work, whatever you are celebrating, celebrate hearty. If it's your birthday, eat your cake, work it off later. Do whatever makes you happy today and enjoy your celebrations. Just to remind you, we are on your FM dial at 98.9. We're being simulcast on TVC Channel 40, Facebook, as well as YouTube. If you wish to bring something present to the fore or join in on the conversation, our local number is 466-0989. In the U.S., 1-305-921-4619 or 1-718-285-6984. In the U.K., 0333. That's 33s 440065. If you wish to advertise with us, just to remind you, you can contact our sales office at 466-9586. Also to remind you, at the half an hour mark, that's 8:30 today, we are expected to have a traffic talk, so we do ask that you stay tuned for that this morning. Quinn, good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, and you?
Trying to be better than yesterday. As I was looking through some of our local headlines before we get into some of the juicy stuff. I want to congratulate our youth first off. I see youth-led group in St. Kitts and Nevis expected to take the helm in creating new digital health record systems. So kudos to our future leaders of tomorrow. And then another headline that stood out to me says PLP leader concerned about the SSZ says he is watching and preparing for action if necessary. So we have to look out for that. As I would want to know though, the leader says he is watching, let me just touch on that because I want to know exactly what plans they're going to have should anything happen. And this is on our winnfm.com page, so you can go there and read it in its entirety. Since its introduction, the Special Sustainability Zones Authorization Act 2025 has been promoted as a pathway to economic diversification and climate resilience. However, it has faced a significant backlash. Critics have criticized the legislation as constitutionally reckless and opaque, raising several primary concerns: erosion of national sovereignty, land acquisition and ancestral rights, lack of consultation, and social and economic inequality, with an emphasis on elite enclaves and states within a state sentiments. In response to these concerns, Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Terence Ju, established an ad hoc advisory committee in December 2025 to review the act and recommend improvements. Leaders of the People's Labour Party, that's PLP, the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris, expressed that he has heard no words from the committee. He said in court, the Prime Minister did say that he has put a board-based committee together to deal with the issues of the SSZ, and we do not know yet whether the committee has formally met, what has been the scope of that committee, so we wait and see, because the SSZ Act provides a legal framework for the development of such as those now contemplated. We hope that wisdom will prevail. There has been opposition coming from all quarters: the Bar Association, eminent persons such as Charles Wilkin, Emil Ferdinand, among other distinguished. Charles Wilkin, yes, have come out and have spoken to the opposition and concern with respect to that. So I will end here. Remember, it is on our WinFM news page, so if you wish to go to read it, to read this article in its entirety, you can go to our page and do so. So what do we think about that, Quint? The opposition saying that they're ready to act if necessary, the PLP opposition, and as you would say, we're not hearing from anyone else when it comes to stuff like this.
Well, I don't really know. Act how? Act in
And that's what I was trying to
You
see,
know
but
what I mean?
I read and I didn't see anything. So I'm wondering, are we going to start protesting now? Are we going to wait until the ground breaks?
Our leaders have got to stop being vague, you know. Be clear. If you're going to act on what? Act on protesting, as Cortensia says? Act on making plans to repeal? Act on what? We don't really know. Hello, caller.
Grand Rising Quint, Grand Rising Cortensia and the listeners.
Grand Rising, good morning.
You know, we have so much to discuss, guys, and we have to really pay close attention to the trends that is happening in our world today. Guys, this morning, Cortensia and Quint, I don't know if you came across anything on social media pertaining to Usain Bolt and his mother was insulted by Piers Morgan. You know, Piers Morgan is going after, or he went after Usain Bolt for being silent on his support as a former athlete to the LGBTQ agenda.
Piers Morgan is that British guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Why are they always
No.
why are they always pushing us to stand up on the LGBT whatever?
Yeah.
thing.
It's their agenda,
Why?
Print. It's their
Look,
agenda.
if you this is a democracy. If you want to live your life, and if you're that way inclined, live it. Don't try to push me to protest on, because I tell you plain, as a man, I do not support those LG whatever. I don't.
Print. Piers Morgan is a racist pig. And you see, the thing is this, right? We are loving these people. We are loving, I mean, not me, Quint,
We?
but black people are loving. You see, Cortensia, we worship whiteness. Let us be fair. Let's be frank here. We worship whiteness. This is the world that was indoctrinated into us. We are worshiping whiteness. Now, some people may not like it, but it is a fact. Because our mind has been indoctrinated, our mind has been conditioned.
With all the things happening in the world, I mean, the audacity of these people. You have a bunch of people in Palestine being slaughtered, murdered on a daily basis, but you don't go pushing people. I would prefer if you push me and you say, well, Quinn, how do you feel about that? You understand? But no, you're not going to push me on that. You're going to push me on people living their life how they want to in a free society.
You see where it's, now, Quinn, I am not being insensitive here. You are saying Palestine. Well, let us go to Sudan. Sudan is people that look like me and you. You're saying Palestine.
Well, I say that, I agree with you. I say that because it's the first thing that came to my mind.
Yes, but you see, Quinn, last year over 200,000 Sudanese were slaughtered by Arabs-looking Africans. And the world is silent. But to get back at Piers Morgan, we as an African people need to call them out for what they are. Piers Morgan is a racist pig and he's not alone. But look at us, Quint. Look at us.
And what was Usain Bolt's reply, if any?
He said,
Usain Bolt, among many things, I'm just going to paraphrase. I don't have the post in front of me.
I have it. He said, unquote,
Okay,
my mother
you.
taught me to run with my feet, and you only know how to talk with your mouth. End quote.
Right, and he just put a picture with him as a youth hugging his mother.
Wow.
You know, this man, Piers Morgan, and
So we
others
say-
like him.
He said, Piers Morgan said, unquote, your mother gave birth to a runner who runs on doping, not talent. Huh? They found that he had no dope in his system, so what nonsense is he talking about? If the only thing that was in his system was sweet potatoes.
That is why I told you.
what nonsense
That
is
is
this?
why I told you, Cartensio, when you make your statements, stop saying don't come and get me, because they'll come and get you no matter what.
What you do.
If they have something in their minds against you, they'll find a way to
The
get
man
it
ain't
out.
had no dope in his system.
Go ahead,
and
Johnny.
this is what I'm saying, guys. We know what they are capable of. We know what they're capable of. You see, we have to speak with authority and don't be in fear. Let us not be in fear. Because when they kill the body, they cannot kill the idea, and the spirit lives on, guys. And this is where journey is at. I don't speak with fear because I know what they're capable of. That's what they strive on. They strive on fear. That's why they have to create chaos. Guys, this is where we are today, you know. All that is taking place with Trump and kidnapping president of Venezuela and wanting, threatening to go into Iran, they want to control, to maintain control because, guys, their time is up. Their time is up. 400 years of slavery has expired. But look at us, guys. Where are our politicians in support of what is happening in the Sahel region? Yes, I am looking at the bigger picture. I am concerned about what is taking place here in St. Kitts and Nevis in the Caribbean. Have you seen them lending support to Mia Motley's speech? Guys, our future is at stake. We are the present. We have to preserve the future. This is deep, you know. This is very deep, and we can't let these things just float over our heads anymore.
Recently,
guys.
recently I saw something about, I don't know if people, there's this, she's retired now. She was an ice skater from France. Bonali I think was her title. And all the years that she used to be you know, involved in skating. You know, skating is mainly dominated by the Caucasian race and so forth. But in France, she kept winning, and she kept winning. I think she won
That's
8 times, you know. Something Bonali.
That's a colored skin lady?
Say black lady.
I didn't want to say it like that.
Yeah, say black, because you say colored, it's kind of prejudice. It sounds, that's what they want us to refer to ourselves
Oh,
as,
boy.
colored, right?
But
But anyway, she performed this backflip
Yeah.
and landed on one foot, right? And no one else was doing it. And the Olympic Committee banned it every time. And as a matter of fact, the last time she performed, she intentionally did it, you know, knowing that they would dock points for her doing it and so forth. But here's it now, a Caucasian guy recently did it, because after all the years of them banning it, saying it was too dangerous, blah, 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 and they used to refer to her as what? The gorilla skater or something like that.
Not
yeah.
nice.
And this guy, this white guy recently did it, and now it's athletic, it's this, it's so much. And people started commenting and reminding them of all the years that Bonali was competing. And there was a particular year when her whatever they call it that you do in the competition was perfect. And she expected, and everyone expected, that she would win the gold. And they didn't give her the gold. And she was so shocked and hurt that she cried, and she refused to go on the stage, right? And they literally forced her to go on the stage, which that was an act of her way of protesting, and they forced her to go on the stage. And I saw a clip of it where you see her on the stage and she's crying, and I think of all the things that we as a black people have had to go through, you know, by these people who don't have to be the way they are, but for whatever reason they just are that way. And no wonder they live in fear that perhaps if we ever reach in a dominant position, that we might give them the same.
So the Caucasian guy, right, that did it, and they lauded him, whatever. Did they deduct points from him since they took points?
No. When she was competing, they banned that move that you saw.
That's
her.
1998.
But years after, they knew that their athletes were experimenting with it, so they took off the ban, and no one has done it. And they lauding him. Oh, it's so athletic, it's so great, the first time it's ever been done, and blah, 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 blah. Hello, caller.
Hi, good morning, Quinn.
Good morning.
What is her name, by the way?
Is Soria Bonale.
Yeah, Bonali. Yeah. Go ahead, Africa.
Good morning.
Good day.
Cortesia.
Hi.
I just want to call in to really console you. Quint, it's not that Cortesia feel like anyone is going to come and get her. Rather, Cortesia should know that her soldiers, those who are in her corner, they are countless. They are very countless. And it's only you, Cortesia, can give anyone permission to come and get you. Because the countless numbers of your ancestors, they would not give permission for no one to come and get you. So be careful of what you ask for.
Well,
I can understand you're on a journey, and it would take a while for us to get there. Cause it took a while for me to say, why would I look over my back?
Yeah.
I doesn't look over my back at the closest time to morning. It could be pitch dark without moonlight. I doesn't look this way or that way. If the grass or the bush shake, I know who have my back. And they're not going to give permission unless I give permission for anyone to come and get me. So be assured, Cortesia, no one is going to come and get you. But I understand you're on your journey, and we are not at the same station. All of us are not at the same station in our journey in life. So yes, the apprehension and so forth, yes, because you're in the media, you feel like you have a voice, and persons are out there plotting to get you. They cannot come and get you without the permission of your ancestors. And your ancestors have sent you here to do a job. So take comfort that you are being authorized by those who send you to speak on their behalf. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for that bit of,
that's nice.
coming to your rescue there. And I agree with him. I'm glad that he said our ancestors, because those who are living, the majority of them, they will come and try to come and get you, because the majority of them seem to be rather cowards, But our ancestors, yes, our ancestors are looking over us and guiding and protecting us. Hello, caller.
Good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
Greetings once more in the name of Jesus Christ, the only Savior of sinners from their sins and from hell, and the second person of the eternal Trinity. And he saved us by the gospel only, through faith only, according to the word of God only. Now, first of all, what I'm calling for, on the weekend, I bought some stuff, food actually, in paper container, as the government said. And something I realized that I don't think I was quite aware of it, but something I realized. The food to me is like the paper take away some of its flavor. And I had a paper fork. And no, I think it was later at another eating establishment. I think I also bought something, and I was giving it in paper as well, paper container. But I think I got a paper fork, and it felt. And I noticed it before. It's any first time, but I noticed it before, but I don't think I addressed it. Yeah, I think I did, but the paper felt a bit uncomfortable, making contact with your lips and your tongue. And it kind of provide a kind of a friction against your lips and against your tongue also, which make it uncomfortable on contact.
Is it that, or is it that you're so prejudiced against these new forms that you in within your mind? I'm just asking. Are you sure?
No. Paper is paper. When you pull like bone paper and stuff to your mouth, I would think anybody you taste a kind of a thing that ain't really too comfortable, and it doesn't slide away from your mouth and slide into and slide away from your mouth as easily as like plastics.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
Like
I don't really eat out, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I've never
I've known it for quite a while.
Because I don't eat out, I've never had to use any of those paper whatever.
I see people complaining about the wooden ones. They're saying it's even tasting like wood.
Yeah. Well, if it's wood,
it might have been wooden. I'm sorry. The forks, yeah, that thing.
You sure?
I don't know they were paper or wood.
You sure?
I don't know they were paper or wood, but they didn't.
Because they have the paper ones that resemble the crates. They have the wood ones, and then they have the ones that like KFC and them have that are compostable eventually. But yeah. So I don't know which one you had, so I can't speak to yours.
Yeah. Whatever it was made from, it wasn't comfortable.
Okay.
Lastly, for now, I've listened to a program last night, and they were saying Trump, the oil that they stole from Venezuela. Well, they're saying Trump is selling the oil, the Venezuelan oil, to China.
How?
So, yeah.
Look,
so
Trump is about money.
But Venezuela gonna buy from him?
No.
China gonna buy from him. Sorry, I said the wrong thing.
Everybody's about.
Because China said they're gonna assist Cuba with oil, since nobody else wants to help.
Everybody's about business, but then again, we're not sure, because a lot of people come up with a lot of things that you have to delve to find out if they're fact or fiction. So I don't know.
Yeah, Russia said they're gonna give Cuba oil.
China said that too.
What Trump is selling the Venezuelan oil to China. Yeah.
You saw the one where he says he's going to China says they're going to help Cuba with oil. That China was the first person that came out and said it. After everything that was happening.
Yeah. But the last night program, I saw where China is increasing the solar energy output in Cuba.
Okay.
Are supposed to get them the solar panels so that they can get more solar power
When
the grid.
When I read the various articles that said Russia would assist, and Russia blatantly said they would defy the U.S. and
Right.
Russia defies everybody.
And I felt good because at least it shows that, you know, not everyone in the world will just stand by and watch this unrational behavior by the U.S., you know, so I felt good. And then for all of those, sometimes people ask who you would prefer. You prefer to have Trump or you prefer to have Putin? Well, I tell you, I would prefer to have Putin any day than Trump, right? Because I haven't seen Putin, regardless of what you say about his politics, I haven't seen him going around and doing, people say this and people say that, but I haven't seen him going around and imposing himself on the world as the rest of the world. In terms of that place that he's fighting for, that's part of his culture and part of his history. Yes.
Mexico also said they were going to defy the U.S. as well.
Hello, repeat that.
Mexico also said they were going to defy the U.S. as well. I don't remember with what.
They sent food, humanitarian aid, and they're going to send a next ship shortly.
Well, they said, they didn't say they would defy. What they said is that they can't send oil for fear of the U.S. putting more steep, pressure on them. But I saw big barges of food and different things and so forth. So I've got to commend them, a lot of food and so forth. I
didn't remember in what they said they were going to defy, but I know they said they were going to defy Trump. Yeah.
I said they didn't say they would defy Trump. They said they would send aid in terms of food, but not oil. But at the same time, people know that you need oil until fossil fuel is phased out and everybody's depending on green energy. Cuba needs oil. And so I wouldn't be surprised, though, if I would wish they would defy the U.S. Anyway, let's take a bit of a commercial break, and we'll be back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us. TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind. You're always safe with us. When you need better service, Rams is
with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
Hey kids, it's chubby time. I have to go to school and learn and play with my friends too. Every day is fun day, 'cause I love my chubby chubby. Chubby, 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 chubby. Lots of flavors for me to choose. Every day they keep me cool. It fits my handmade just for me. Everybody loves chubby. Chubby, 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 chubby. Every day is fun day. Chubby.
As promised, it's just about 33 minutes after the hour of 8. Welcome back to Island Tea. And we are now in our traffic talk episode. So good morning, Constable Bell. Welcome back to our studios. And today's topic will be windscreen tint. I'll let him tell you about the rest. I'll let him tell you about the rest. I'm not going to go into that part just yet.
Yes. Good morning, Cartencia.
Good morning.
Good morning, Quint. Last week, I think we finished off speaking on the
windscreen,
and the discretions.
Okay.
However, since our conversation, something else was sent out.
Okay. Read the windscreen?
Yeah, with the windscreen.
Okay.
You know, nothing contrary to what we spoke about, but you know, a little additional discretion.
Okay.
For the public. After the I wouldn't say outcry, but concerns. So I just wanna speak on that. So the guidelines for measuring windscreen tint. Now, as we explained last week, a lot of persons were running with the excuse that the reason for them having the entire windscreen tinted was sometimes to assist with the damaged windscreen. So that's why we had the grace period, and we are enforcing the cracked windscreen because we're trying to eliminate the amount of vehicles driving on the road exceeding the tint limit. Have the entire windscreen tint, and if not the entire windscreen tint, have too much tint coming down to the front of the windscreen. We know it's supposed to be 10 inches from the top. However, some discretion is being made from the sergeant and up.
Okay.
Yes, I was not in the meeting, but
okay.
I got the information. So I just want to read the purpose. Sorry. Yes, the purpose of these guidelines are to issue to ensure uniform, fair, and legal defensible enforcement of the statutory restriction on windscreen tint. Now, this was put in writing because we don't want that we are 3 officers following the law. The law said 10 inches, but I may be of the view that I will use my discretion with 12 inches or 11 inches. The sergeant might be of the same view. However, while you are working, you do not exercise any of that discretion. You're going by the books, by law, that's nothing wrong with it. Okay, but you know, based on the conversations and the outcry from the public, we're trying to have all officers on one mindset, one page when we're out there exercising the job. Okay. Let me just trying to find it.
This is
The
why I say about
discretion.
technology.
Yes.
You found it?
Yes. Number 7 of the guidelines. It says exercise of discretion in marginal cases where the measured tint exceeds the statutory limit by the margin amount, generally 2 to 3 inches over. Officers are advised not to issue a ticket. Now that is in bold, black. Officers are advised not to issue tickets in such cases. The officer should exercise professional discretion and instead provide verbal advice or a warning. Informing the driver that the tint exceeds the legal limit and should be corrected within a reasonable period. This approach recognizes minor variation in tint application, measurement tolerance, and the principle of the proportionality in the enforcement. So, by law, it is still 10 inches. However, some persons might get carried away when they're tinting their vehicles, or they don't have an exact measuring tape when they're tinting their vehicles, but they're not trying to come down too far. But however, when they're stopped by officers, it's measured over the 10 inches. Now, we stop you. I normally like to have my phone or my tablet, so when I'm speaking to persons, I could pull up the law and show them, so it's not anything just me speaking, because a lot of persons are of the view that a lot of police have personal vendettas against them, when it is not so. It's just that some people enforce the law more serious than some. That doesn't make the other officers soft or not competent, but it all boils down to the discretion. Now, if I'm stopping you 3-4 times to remind you about the same thing, no, I cannot exercise any discretion there. But if I know manfully, hey, I stopped for attention today, I've never stopped you before, never had a reason to warn you about that tint, when I'm measuring it, it's over the limit, but not by much. I can say, hey, this is the legal limit. However, I'm giving you 2 days to get it corrected, and we can issue you a notice for inspection for you to bring back the vehicle for inspection to confirm that you did clear up the infraction. Okay?
Right. So exactly what you said, Bell, in relation to that. What we are doing is really trying to get the citizenry to understand that the police is enforcing the law, but with the enforcement that we need the cooperation of the public. And it's not everything and for every aspect of the law we are strict in the enforcement. And so with the tinting, as Bell says, that a discretion is exercised if it falls between 2 or 3 inches beyond the required legal limit. And so the guidelines, these are guidelines that has been put in place by the licensing authority and enforced primarily from the traffic department, and because that is our main responsibility in terms of the traffic management. And so we don't want persons to take advantage of the discretion that is being given. So if you're stopped, rather than say, well, ticket, because the law says it should be 10 inches, so you get a ticket because you're in violation. We are saying we bring it to your attention, and then we give you the opportunity to correct it. We don't expect you to flaunt the law and don't take it as seriously, because if the law says a particular amount, then that is what it is. Because I've had cases where persons came to me and they say, well, you know, it's just 1 inch over, and the officer give me a ticket and so on. And sometimes it's really, when you put on the human cap, it could really be a little bit unreasonable and thing like that. Besides, one lady came to me with a real reasonable rationale in that with the windscreens that have the curvature and so on. At certain point when you measure the windscreen, you get a lesser length than what it is, or you get more because of the curve in the windscreen. Not all windscreens are like that.
Yeah.
And so that is why the guidelines stipulate that you measure, the point of measurement is from the corner, either corner, and so on, because that will give you the most accurate part of the measurement. Yes. Yes. So
well, let me ask you a question, because sometimes even me myself wonder why is it that sometimes you all are such a stickler, So is it that you're precise? Because let's say it's supposed to be 10 inches, but it's 10 and 5 centimeters or whatever. I don't see why sometimes if I see you enforcing, I would say, well, there are so many other serious things happening.
Exactly, and we are very cognizant of that. We are cognizant of that because people always say that, and we don't want to, because the thing about it, although most of our main function is enforcement, it's really a service, it's a police service. And so we must do that, which is embedded in one of the principles of Sir Robert Peel, where the policing by consent. And so you must have the public on your side with whatever enforcement you're doing. And so that is why when persons would raise concerns, we looked at it and we see where we can be a little bit temperate and discretionate in the enforcement. And so we recognize, because of course we have to police ourselves together. That's how it was in the history with Sir Robert Peel, that every person have a responsibility to be law-abiding. And so we just want to, and we are not here to really penalize persons who are being law-abiding, but just find themselves in a little conflict in what the law requires. And so that is from that point we always try to be as discretionate as possible.
And when you do that, as you said, the public gets more endeared to you. And they're quicker to come to you when there's a problem. They're quicker to come and say, look, officer, I saw such and such and such, because you have like a relationship with them.
Yes. And it brings me to the point, we're going a little bit curtains here, but I saw a video recently, and there was a video when I was arresting a guy that really went viral. But, one of the things that becoming a phenomenon that really should not be is that you have, when police are effected an arrest, you always have the bystanders, the observers, and they are basically creating a difficulty which make it difficult for the police to be efficient in that arrest. You say, leave the man alone, the man not do nothing, and you're hearing all these things and so on and things. And I often wonder, well, instead of saying leave the man alone, why not say, well, just cooperate with the police, just go with the police, allow the police. You understand what I'm saying? And that is an area that I think we really have to focus in terms of bringing the community closer with the police. Yes.
Yes. Well, outside of that, I also made a post. I said, comply with the police. And if the police, you feel as if the police is abusing his authority, you can always report him.
Right.
Exactly.
But to behave in an aggressive way towards the police, when they're trying to, do their job, you adding charges to from one simple stop to you obstructing the police, resisting the police, and other stuff. And those change, especially from traffic officers. It is easy to change from traffic offenses to criminal offenses. Very, very easy in the snap of a finger.
Because that same instance with me, the fella end up getting 6 charges, and they were heavy charges. And the thing about it, when I sat him down and we spoke after everything, he could have seen where he really went wrong, and it was a situation that was uncalled for. And I believe that was he become less cooperative because of the incitement that he was getting from the bystander. And so on. At the end of the day, the people incite you, but you're the one who face the persons who are doing that can get arrested too, for obstruction and things like that. You can get arrested. You should not really make the police work more difficult than it is. And so that is why sometimes it's better if you're not willing, if you think that the police might not be justified in the arrest, it's better for you to just be quiet and encourage the person to just cooperate with the police. And like Bell says, we have the professional standard. And so police are being held to standard based on their action. And so if you feel that there might be an action that has been done by the police that does not meet the expectation as a professional police officer, then you report that matter to the professional standard, and it will be investigated. And if there are breaches found, that those officers will be held accountable.
Yes, and just to, before we move on, because that's a big topic, I guess we would have to come back at that. But for persons videotaping also, instead of videotaping and making the scene more aggressive, tell them, hey, comply with the officer, we got it on tape, so if they do anything out the way, you have evidence. Exactly. But don't try to boost them up because you're trying to get a video to go viral on your social media.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, that makes plenty sense.
Yes.
So back to the guidelines. The guidelines are not laws. It's just guidelines within internally to ensure that all the officers are on the same mindset.
You have a caller.
Well, before the caller quit, Bell, because sometimes when you say the guidelines are not laws, people can interpret to mean that they are not enforceable. And so it's always good to draw the distinction.
Yes.
That
the law,
because they really, they stem from the law. So no authority in aspect of the law. But these are things that put in place by the licensing authority to help to more or less regulate. So the law, you might have a particular law, but the law is general. And so you bring certain guidelines to basically regulate exactly what the law is trying to achieve.
After the call, I would think.
Okay, caller, go ahead. Good morning. You're live on Traffic
Good morning,
Talk.
gentle folks. How are you guys?
Good, thanks.
Morning.
Okay, wonderful program as usual. And I must commend the police force for having this program, educating the populace. Because a lot of times I find that we believe things to be one way when they are actually not. I missed the introduction this morning, but are you speaking about the tint at the top of the glass of the windscreens?
Yes, the front windscreen.
I really appreciate that you're giving some guidelines on that. I haven't measured it, of course, but my challenge is I'm not the tallest of persons around, and especially if I'm in the front of the bus on the left side, never mind the middle. The tint is so low. Well, even forget me. What I notice with some drivers, the tint is so low that they basically have to crouch, arch their back to see. And I am suspecting that does damage to one's back. The continuous arching, it's going to affect, I believe, one's back. So I don't know and I know different persons have different heights, etc. So I'm not certain what would be the ideal height. But that is something that even when I'm sitting in front, I move on the left, and I like to see where I'm going in case anything happens. So I too have to be coaching somewhat in some of the buses, never mind if I'm in the middle. So I don't know if any consideration was given to that. Of course, you can't go around changing it, everything. There must be an average, the average person. However it's done, I don't know. But I'm really concerned about the drivers who constantly, they're going to be driving buses, 7, 8, 9 hours a day, and they are continuously coaching. That's my input. Thanks a lot, folks.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
And that's that's a great input, Colin, because the thing about it, and that is one of the reasons why we are enforcing the 10 inches, because the thing about it is that people just bent and having their windscreen tint, not taking into consideration the safety risk that it poses. And I am very happy that you as a passenger have that personal experience sitting from the passenger side as to how difficult it is for you to be able to have a clear view of the road ahead of you. And so I know that some people excuse is that, you know, when it's at 10 inches because of the shape of the windscreen for passenger buses or other vehicles, that it's not enough shade from the sunlight. And what can be done, you can use what we call the UV tint that helps to block out the sun. So it's just as if you're wearing shades and so on. So then that is another protective measure that one can use. So it's not enough to say, well, oh, the 10 inches is too short, and so then I am not able to see. And for those persons who have the windscreen tinted beyond the 10 inches and has to be crouched, as the caller says, that is not even healthy.
But it shows you the length sometimes people will go through for style as opposed
for style
to
and fashion,
as opposed to the health.
Evening nights, because sometimes we have certain areas that are not properly lit, and you might have on your headlamps, but you still still staying. And
you have another caller.
That forces a lot of drivers to put on the bright.
Yeah. Okay. Caller, go ahead for the officers. You're live in Traffic Talk. Good morning.
Yes. Good morning again to everybody.
Morning.
Now, I'm going to say something, make a reply to something that the officers have said. Now, the officers said that people should make, if they feel that the officers are wrong in doing their job, that they're not doing it properly, unprofessionally or whatever, that they should make a complaint. Well, me ain't got nothing against that. But what should also be done is that if punishment is handed out to the officer, it must be seen. So that if I am the one who made a complaint against an officer,
Must be seen or
I should be
communicated.
contacted. Hello?
You mean communicated? Not.
Yes.
Because you sound like
it should be
we're
seen.
going flogging.
Right, it should. Well, so if I'm the one who make a complaint against an officer, if the officer is punished, it should be communicated to me. Well, X and Y, Greg, X and Y was the case. Or if they find that my complaint was invalid, wrong or whatever, it should also be communicated to me.
Right.
But I find that is not being done, and that is a problem, and that can discourage the public from working with you all. So things must be done honestly and openly and be seen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Carl, I agree up to the point where you say that it's not being done. I think that enough has not been done to make the general public aware as to how police officers are treated after an allegation of improper conduct, and what are the final disposal of that matter. But we usually, the virtual complainant, we usually follow them right through the end of the matter at the disciplinary hearing that we call a tribunal, which is similar to the court, the same process. I am one of the prosecutors that normally deal with those disciplinary matters. A most recent one was there is a police officer who was charged criminally for indecent assault. That was a disciplinary matter as well, and he would have pled guilty at the tribunal. and he would have been sentence would have been meted out, which had a part to play in the criminal matter. So
Yeah,
yes, they usually happen. It just means that it is not being made public, so that persons can know, well, oh, this happened. But usually it does.
But what, in that case, what took place? Was he suspended? Was he fired?
He was suspended because once you're charged with
Okay,
criminal
just
offense, you have
wanted
to
to
be
be sure.
suspended.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
automatic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so he was suspended. But despite, even though you're suspended, you're still a police officer. It just means that you're not on active duty.
So he was
you're
suspended,
still,
he was suspended for a period.
yes, until the matter is disposed of. So even during his suspension, he was being held accountable at the disciplinary hearing.
Okay.
Yes.
But let me ask a question, because I, for example, I think one time I made a complaint against an officer, okay, and and that happened years ago. And up to this, then nobody communicated anything to me. The officer who you're speaking of right now, was the action communicated to the person he offended?
The person was present. The person was present throughout the tribunal.
There will be a witness.
Yeah, the witnesses were present throughout the tribunal, and it was quite a very serious matter. It was very serious in terms of the circumstances, and I from my experience being present, you could see the victim. She was very traumatized by the action. And so it's really a matter and a situation that could not have been condoned under no circumstance.
Well, in all cases, no matter the degree of seriousness, it should be communicated to the person who made the complaint what was the outcome. Okay, thank you.
I know we're a bit off track from our
Yeah.
topic, but when you're suspended as a officer, can you still arrest somebody, or your duties are suspended as well?
Your duty is suspended.
Okay, so
You're
everything is
still a
suspended.
police officer,
Okay.
but you are not supposed to engage in any kind of
got you.
act of police.
And let me ask this for more clarity too. You're a police officer until the whole case is complete.
Yes.
And
yes.
whether you are
Because,
found guilty or otherwise.
yeah, once it is
then
finally
that will be-
disposed, let's suppose that you are found not guilty, you are proven innocent, then you have to be reinstated.
Yes,
And
but
so
if
until you are
otherwise-
being reinstated back to full active duty, then you are really, suspension is absolute.
Yeah,
Yes.
but if you are found guilty, then you're
Right, the sentence is meted out like anybody, any other person. Yeah.
just wanted to be sure.
I think it stems from, and I could be corrected, the internal disciplinary charge to the criminal part, which
Right.
is in the court itself. So
it's two different
two
process,
different
the internal
process.
and the external. which
And
is the
just to clarify for the caller, 'cause he was saying the person who made the report should always be informed, but that person has to be present because they are the witness, they are the complainant. So they have to be present. Without them, there is no case.
Yeah.
So they are informed all
Yeah.
the way through.
Yeah.
So if you find that you're not being updated or anything, it's not hard to go back and check. It's just as if you apply for a piece of land, nobody call you.
You
That
go
doesn't
back
mean
and
you
check.
didn't make the application.
Yeah.
But you go back and you follow up. Some
Yeah.
persons sit home and just wait. Sometimes you just take a phone call just to visit the office. I made a report. I need an
you have
update.
to take interest.
follow up.
Yeah,
you
you have to.
Yeah.
You have to also take interest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you should be starting to wrap up.
Yes,
now.
I will just read out the points of measure. The sergeant started, but I just want to read it in depth. The measuring of the windscreen tint shall be conducted from the outside of the vehicle, not from the interior. The police is not going to sit in anybody's vehicle and measure anything from inside.
Okay.
We do that from the outside. The measurement shall commence at the highest point of the tint area on the windscreen, which is the top. Measure vertically downwards. Where the tint is uneven or curved, the measurement must be taken at the furthest downwards extent of the tint, which shall be typically be located at one of the upper corners of the windscreen. Officers shall not measure from the center of the windscreen unless it is clearly the lowest point of the tint. I don't know if this side want to close it.
Oh, that's
last week I spoke on the powers to detain a vehicle or to enter the premises. Now, if we stop someone and we give them a ticket for tint, we can still ask that person to remove their tint. A lot of persons are unclear of that.
Okay. So even if you get a ticket,
even if you get a ticket,
removing the tint is not a punishment.
It's not the punishment.
It is a discontinuance of the violation. Yes.
Okay.
And if persons refuse to do that, or if they try to make it an issue, oh, I don't get a ticket, so I'm not taking off my tint, get aggressive and everything, that's okay. Section 76 of the Vehicles and Road Traffic Act, it says, it shall be lawful for any member of the police force to stop any vehicle on the road with the view to ascertain whether such vehicle is being used in contravention of this act or any regulation. In the event of any vehicles being used on the road in such manner, such member of the police force may take the vehicle or cause it to be taken into any police station, there to be further examined or to be detained until the vehicle and the driver can be identified and the violation corrected, as the case may be. Okay. So until you remove the tint and correct the offense, we can detain your vehicle.
All right. Well, I think that's clear enough. And gentlemen, thank you as usual for coming in and clearing up things. I know we went off a bit off a topic, but maybe that was the way it was supposed to go this morning. So we will continue.
Oh, just to speak about the road to the top.
Oh, yeah. Please, let them know.
If you're traveling from west to east, after you exited Keon Street to enter onto Pan Road, the road is blocked. If you're traveling from east, after you pass, right there by Carty's Alley, you would have to turn up to go up the road. You will not
Baker's
be permitted
Corner.
to enter into the Baker's Corner or exit Baker's Corner onto Pan Road.
Okay, yeah. Blocked.
Yes, the road is digged up. I'm not too sure what is going on.
It was a burst pipe the last time.
Oh.
Because I had
the area is wet for
yeah. So I think they're sorting out the pipe. So right by the preschool, there across from Shanny Gray Brooks, you cannot pass there. You have to go up the corner.
Yes.
To get to Baker's Corner. Yes. It's blocked off. It's blocked off.
Yes. So okay, avoid traveling in that area if you don't have to.
All right. Yes. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay. Have a great
day. Found the Sound 98.9. Win FM.
Caribbean numbers come and play. Just one single dollar, that is the way. You can pick one number or two or three. I win up to 20,000, you see. 3 ways to play, 3 draws a day, 3 ways to win. Hear what we say. Caribbean numbers is the easiest game to play.
The new Caribbean numbers.
So play today.
At any Caribbean lottery agent island-wide.
So play today.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
The holidays just got a whole lot brighter with the new $5 Holiday Stash scratch ticket. It's easy to play, packed with $1,000 prizes and many chances for you to win big this holiday season. So go ahead, treat yourself, spread some cheer, and stack some cash. Play Holiday Stash today at Caribbean lottery agents and vending machines island-wide. Must be 21 years and older to play. Please play responsibly.
Hey kids, it's chubby time. I have to go to school and learn and play with my friends too. Every day it's fun day, 'cause I love my chubby, chubby. Chubby, 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 chubby. chubby, 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 chubby. Every day is fun day. Chubby.
It's just about 7 minutes after the hour of 9. I know traffic talk is over, but Quint, I was just telling the officers I longed to see us creeping again on the road because the amount of nonsense that I encountered over the weekend, even up to last night, getting home, and we are coming out of Pond Road there, the road by the football field, to get on Pond Road. And somebody wants to turn, but they're not in the turning lane. They're on the side that we need to come out on. And I'm like, what is happening here? Who is driving this vehicle? Why is this person on the right side? We drive on the left side of the road. There's a turning lane in the middle. I don't understand if they didn't calculate it well. And then we were going to, or coming from Frigate Bay on Saturday evening, and there were two cars coming up, and then there's a third trying to overtake. I don't know if he misjudged our lights or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm grateful that I pray every time I leave the house because the nonsense that drivers are doing, it's unacceptable, folks. Let's do better. Caller, good morning. You're live on Island T.
Yes, it's me again. Now, with the issue that I brought up with the traffic people, now, I have no problem with people calling to find out the outcome. But how I see it is that if the person have to call it to find out the outcome, I find that to be very unprofessional on the police part. Because let's say I wait for, let's say 7, 8, maybe 9, 10 days, you know, and I ain't hear nothing. And next thing, I do decide to call. The tribunal, I don't know how long they take, but maybe it could have already taken place.
But they said, remember they said with some of the matters, you have to be there. So...
Yeah, but I'm saying they should tell the person.
Yeah, and they understand that. And maybe that's something they're going to take back and they're going to do better. But, okay, if you called for something, let's say you ordered a part from somewhere, right? And the person got caught up because it's a busy establishment, and we know the police can sometimes be busy, not making an excuse for them. And the person forget to call and say, "Cotton, your part came," whatever. Don't you think I should call to follow up? Because it's in my interest to know what the result is. Is my part here? Is my part not coming? How long is my part going to take? And just remind them, and maybe they'll give you a humble apology and then just go on from there, letting you know
yeah,
the
but
outcome
that
of the
was a bit
situation.
unprofessional on the other person part because it is duty bound on them to call you.
But Greg, life happens. We can't be hard and fast on everything.
Greg, hold a
no,
second.
I ain't saying happen.
Greg, hold a second. There's another caller.
Yes.
Hello, caller.
Good morning, Quint. Good morning, Potentia. Good
morning,
Greg. Greg, you could stay.
Good morning.
You may continue. I have something to address on that.
Yeah, I ain't gonna take too long.
No, just you could stick around.
Yeah.
Continue.
For example, for another example, let me give an example. I went to make a complaint one time to the police, and I felt that the police who dealt with me was very unprofessional, and I complained to the police. All I'm saying is that something could have said, Greg, somebody could get back and say to me, Greg, X, Y, Z, or whatever. I didn't know they had these tribunal and them sort of stuff. But let me give another case that recently happened. Just Saturday evening, well, afternoon, put it. A lady was speaking to me, well, on the phone. And she said a certain male showed up to her place. And she was very traumatized because of very, very serious incidents in the past with that person. And the female called the police. Returned Saturday afternoon. She's telling me Sunday night. She's telling me this Sunday night. I think the police should have already called her based upon the seriousness of the matter and already tell her what they did, whether they could have found him, they can't find him. If they found him, what they told him, the police should have called her. But up to Sunday night, they didn't. I had to tell her, well, you know what? Call them. But I shouldn't even hesitate because they should have already informed the police because of how serious the situation is. Very, very serious. And that's what I'm saying. I'm seeing this not just in one area, the police force, but in different areas. You know, so when I make this complaint, it's a very it's a very serious and very unprofessional of the police not to be calling back people to let them know and update them because this lady's concerned a very traumatizing situation with her, and a little call to her might even calm her nerves. Anyway, take care.
All right. Thank you for that, Greg. Caller, go ahead.
Yes, good morning once again. First of all, complaint to police is very flaky in St. Kitts. And to follow up, if there is a claim filed against police, once a claim has been filed, there should be administrative communication between the complainant and the defendant. You can't just, once the complainant make the complaint, they should respond back to the complainant to let them know what will be the outcome of the situation in terms of way to proceed. But that is not. You make a complaint and they ignore it. Because I personally have complaints in there. My brother, in respect to that issue I told you about up in the year, no kind of response yet. That's why I reach out to the traffic, because police is police. They're not responding yet, and it's a big issue with me and these people who I'm complaining about. They ain't follow up yet, and I have a big loss because I spent all my life saving in assets, and the person is bragging. But let me say this. The response of police when they have complained is not good. It is very bad. And I don't know who are the organizers of taking complaint and responding and follow up. But they are not doing it. And I am very upset about that. Okay? And life could be at stake. Because when people realize they're not getting response from their complaint, making complaint, they may take action in their hands. And that's not good overall neither. So policing in St. Kitts, especially in the administrative, and I hope the commissioner is listening. I hope those who are on this listening advice information is taking these commentary into consideration. So something has to be done. Everything needs to be reformed in St. Kitts. Everything. This is a sign of the time. These are intelligent minds. This is time of luminaries and people with greater thinking, better than yesterday. And they are not. They're into this old thing. If they don't care about something, they just leave it and it just die like you throw it into a garbage bin. And that's not good. They have to follow up to the complainant more than how they used to. And in the United States here, when a complaint has been made about police, there is a board called the Civilian Complaint Review Board, CCRB. And they do follow up with the complainant. I don't know what kind of board we have down there to follow up with the complainant also to say the plaintiff.
Well, caller, don't make it sound like up there is so nice, you know, because
No, I'm not.
Because sometimes people call, like the woman who called, who was, you know, having a bit of a mental breakdown, and next thing you know, the cop shoot her right in her face. So sometimes people die from a simple innocent call up there, especially when you're black people.
I agree. I am not looking at the United States, and because it is big. Yeah. And then more advanced. I mean, common sense is what I'm applying to any kind of issues that I am commenting on. But simply, don't wait for the complainant to be following up. Yes, they should follow up. But once they make a complaint, they should get a response. Because I personally is very upset, and I don't know what I will do until I come. Because Here is it, my life savings is at stake. Okay? And I'm up here can't do nothing. Making a call from up here is just like crap. I have families on the ground who are involved in it and they're ignoring them still. And I'm gonna roll some heads when I come down. Not criminally, but I will leave it right here because the response of policing is bad. Okay? Very bad in St. Kitts. And Quint, I believe you will agree with me. Thank you for hearing me. Bye for now.
All right. Have a good one. Thanks for your contribution.
Yeah, let's take a bit of a commercial break and we'll be right back.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
You can win more with the Mega Ball. Pick 3 and pick 4, you could get it all.
Yes, playing Pick 3 and Pick 4 with the Caribbean Lottery just got more rewarding. For just an extra $1, increase your winnings by $1,000 with Pick 3 and $10,000 with Pick 4 when you play the Mega Ball.
You ready to win a little extra? You ready to win a little extra? You ready to win a little extra? Then get on the ball.
Play Pick 3 and Pick 4 with Mega Ball at Caribbean Lottery agents island-wide. Must be 21 and over to play.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
Rams the good food people, always there to serve you. Rams the good food people, locations right near you. Rams the good food people, in-store specials for you. Rams the good food people. Rams. When you need better service, Rams is always here. Better value, better prices. Rams is always here. Rewarding your loyalty. Rams is always here. We are community. We are family. We are family. Rams for you and me. We are community. Rams for you and me.
Magnum, my brand. Everybody put your Magnum in the air now. From you a drink Magnum, make me see. Take charge of things now your place now. From the river to the beach to the street. Hot Magnum when me have in a me hand there. Give her a sip and she tell me sweet. Look for me watch for your quick time check. Yeah, yeah. Right now a Magnum a for your beat. Enjoy yourself every day of the week with a Magnum. My life I forget sweeter. Must be 18 years and older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Just about 21 minutes after the hour of 9, and we are back here on Island Tea. And I saw an interesting regional article. Quint, you had anything you wanted to bring to the fore before I continue?
No, you can go ahead. I have a clip, but it might be a bit controversial. So you go ahead and then we'll play that after.
Okay, so over there in Antigua, I see foreign hotel managers who abuse locals verbally and sexually will be deported, the Prime Minister warns. And the article, some of the comments had me making faces just now, but I'm going to read a bit of the article. Prime Minister Gaston Brown has warned that foreign hotel managers and expatriate workers accused of mistreating or exploiting locals could be deported if credible complaints are brought before the government. So speaking on the Brown and Brown show on Saturday, Brown said his administration will not tolerate what he described as disrespectful behavior towards Antiguans and Barbudans by non-nationals employed in the hospitality sector or other industries. He said, and quote, "When you come here As our guests, you have to treat our people with respect, adding that any credible information about misconduct would be investigated and could result in deportation. End of that one. He said the warning applies to cases involving sexual exploitation, workplace mistreatment, or other forms of abuse. At the same time, the Prime Minister urged local workers to treat their supervisors with respect regardless of nationality. Brown stressed that Antigua and Barbuda remains open to foreign investment and skilled expatriate workers, but said national sovereignty and dignity of citizens must be protected. The comments form part of a broader push by the cabinet to ensure the economic growth benefits locals and that workplace standards are upheld across sectors. Now, somebody commented and said, Gaston Brown, if you're going to set those standards, let it begin with you. For I have listened to you for years now, verbally abusing others. Let it begin with you. As the leader of the nation, respect for self equals respect for all others.
Yeah, hurrah to that individual.
Boy.
Those are the kind of comments I want to see, where people are bold enough to even come up against their leaders when they contradict themselves. And that is true. We've heard Gaston Brown call people
all kind of names, all kind of things.
Yeah.
Even the lady with her toes that he was mashing up.
Hello, caller.
Good morning, you're live on Island T.
Good morning, all.
Good day.
Yes. We've faced right now with a set of leaders who seem powerless to do anything about the situation we find ourselves in. Okay? And I think it demands that we think of ways by which they can at least show some pride and purpose in what they're doing, rather than, just stay silent in the face of what's happening. And yes, I suggested giving, for instance, the Cubans citizenship to show that we're in solidarity with the Cuban people, not necessarily the regime. And I think that is important. And what Mexico did, I think, was also an indication of they know they couldn't go against the threat of, they couldn't hold up against the threat of further sanctions from the U.S. But at least they sent humanitarian assistance. And I'm wondering if collectively as a region we couldn't do the same. What do you think would be the response if we send things like, humanitarian stuff?
But you see, that's again, if they were united, they could do that easily, because they could come together and say, look, between the islands, we're going to get this, you're going to distribute that, you're going to give that, and then we're going to send, but they're not united.
But I'm not even thinking of the unity part of it.
I'm thinking that whatever we do as a Caribbean region, we must begin to practice to do it in unison, because when we do, I hear where you're going with that, but when we do it individually, that's where we're spoiling ourselves, and we want to do these individual things in other ways and other things.
I agree. But what I'm saying is somebody has to take the lead. Somebody has to bell the cat. Mexico has done it. They would have been. What would be the big issue if, for instance, all of us have relations with Mexico? We said, well, arrange for a ship to traverse the region, collecting supplies to send to Cuba, right? And that would also give individual members of the public in each country the opportunity to make some kind of contribution, right?
And that, again, strengthens the point where if they're unified, it's better, because if they're not unified, then you're sending the ship from Mexico and you don't know maybe 2 islands, 3 islands, but if we're unified, you know for sure, because they've sat down and they said, these are who are going to contribute and what they will contribute.
No, but what I'm saying is, right, I suspect that every last one of the leaders don't like what is happening to Cuba. every year for God knows how long, in September, get before the United Nations asking, pleading for the blockade against Cuba to be lifted. They do it every single year, all of them do it. So I know that they don't like what's happening. It's just that they feel powerless. And what I'm saying is, right, it isn't that any one of them have to take the lead. It isn't that they have to collectively come together to do this. Mexico has done something like this. All it takes is for the ship to stop off at different ports and they quietly fill up these ships and send them to Cuba. No big fanfare, no big hassle, right? The only problem I might have with the idea is that we've seen what has happened in the Middle East, where there were flotillas that tried to get into with humanitarian assistance to Palestine. And they were stopped. They were blocked, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that would be the stance of the U.S. here. It was Israel's stance, essentially. Okay? I really don't know.
And again, let me tell you, let Israel continue doing what it's doing, because just like America, if you were to do a survey of the amount of places around the world that now seem to hate the Israelis with a passion, it is unbelievable. So let them go ahead. Let them go ahead. Time is longer than twine. And when people around the world see that you're adamant that you will annihilate a people and you're intent on doing it, even to the extent where if people are trying to provide medical things and food, that you're stopping that. It shows blatantly that your intent is to make sure that these people are eliminated.
Yeah. But that goes against the grain of where we were going in the world in terms of outlawing certain practices. That Gaza war indicated, I mean, it opened a lot of eyes to the fact, for instance, you don't attack a hospital, you don't attack medical personnel, right? You don't engage in collective punishment of people, because when you have sanctions and so on, when you have blockades and those kinds of things, I understand that hospitals in Cuba have to close. They're without electricity for long periods and so on. That is collective punishment. That is not against a regime.
Look, I was listening to a minister. I think it's a minister of internal affairs from Cuba, and when I listened to him, I mean, he sounded like he said, "Look, what Cuba has had to resort to is sort of a rationing fuel so that they can sustain themselves as long as they can, as the depletion continues." You could imagine that?
But the broader point is that a lot of things that we took for granted, the trajectory of how we were living as a world, was that there are certain things that were just outlawed. You don't do these
But they
things.
were not outlawed. That is why I keep trying to tell people. They were being done to certain people around the world, and propaganda was pushed to say, well, this is done because of that. This is done perhaps because they didn't have an election. This is done because of, and various reasons. But the Israeli situation has brought it is so blatant and so continuous, and to such a great extent, it has brought it smack in our faces. But it has been happening all over. The U.S. has always been undermining and overthrowing various regimes for their own reasons.
Funny enough, you gentlemen are speaking about that, because I was just looking at an article in the Calgary Herald, and everybody's trying to get out of Cuba, get back home. And this young lady said she was in a bar in Cuba when the U.S. invaded Venezuela on January 3rd and witnessed an emotional reaction. She said, and quote, the woman in the bar started bawling and saying, we're next, we're next.
Yeah, that Cuba knows that.
Wow.
And they ask, what that guy name from Cuba? So he's up in there.
Which guy?
A Cuban guy who's in the Trump regime, and he's
Rubio?
Rubio.
Marco Rubio?
Yeah, in a
He's American, you better don't call him Cuban.
Well, he admits
He
that
has
he's a
heritage,
Cuban.
yeah.
Someone in Congress.
Hold on, Quint. I listened to his speech in Europe recently, and you know what he said? I am here as a descendant of the Spanish. He didn't even say Cuba, you know.
Yeah.
You know?
Jim, no. He ain't born there, but he
I
have Cuban.
found that very instructive.
But that is why recently when you asked about Puerto
gosh.
Rico, and I said the Puerto Ricans also, in the majority of them, tend to lean toward the Spanish. Because a lot of these people, again, you will have to research your history. A lot of these people want to move away from their blackness. They don't want to, have anything to do with their blackness. But to go back to Marco Rubio, someone in Congress asked him point blank if he would like to see, or if they intend to overthrow Cuba next. And he said if they want to see regime change, and he said, well, yes, definitely we want to see. No, I'm not saying that we're going to do it, but I would want to see regime change. And he's blatant.
Trump has a way of making jokes out of things that he really wants to see happen. Eh?
Yes, yeah.
And he referred to him. He said, President Rubio of Cuba sounds like has a good ring to it.
Yeah.
Or words to that effect.
Yeah.
You know, he said so jokingly, but this march toward what seems to be recolonization, that you never know where it's going to end. I would recommend that speech that Rubio made in Europe to every single body in the world, because it shows exactly, it sets out exactly what the aim should be. And part of it was in response to, it was Merz, the German chancellor.
That is what I was just going to say, because I was just going to say that even a leader from Germany, he has said, look, the world is in a different position now to,
even specifically, one of the specific things that he said was that Americans' culture wars are not ours, meaning Europe's.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And I think Rubio's speech partly had that in mind when he was saying that, well, the U.S. is a child of Europe. You can't separate them.
Yeah.
But it tells us a lot about what the aims are, what the goals are, and it doesn't seem like why we don't fit into the picture in a good light at all. There's no, not even a whiff of an attempt to include us in
when you say
in
us,
the West.
When you say us,
meaning our countries around here. Our countries around here.
You mean Caribbean countries?
Caribbean countries,
Latin American
countries.
Yeah.
There's not even an attempt to include us in the West.
But you see, there's a rift with
it's almost a them against us, wanting Europe to go back to the days when they were dominant.
There's a rift happening, and it has been happening since the Haiti or Haiti, because I'm reminded that when we say Haiti, we're mispronouncing the word.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reminded
Haiti.
because Bad Bunny actually called it right. He said Haiti, and that's the name of it. But ever since the Haiti revolution, we hear, yesterday I was speaking to Chesley Hamilton, and someone made a comment, and I said, even look at the Bolivarian revolution that they tout, the Latin Americans tout. Bolivar, he joined and was only successful because of the aid that he got from Haiti. And he signed an agreement that having reached a certain position, that they would work together in unison. Lo and behold, when they won and got their independence and so forth, he turned against the blacks. You understand? and started slaughtering them and so on and so forth. So Latin America and the Black Caribbean, we have to find a way. That is why everyone is so amazed and yet still happy that Bad Bunny had the guts to do what he did, because he was saying into their faces, stop looking at this colorization thing. We have to unite, and the Americas is not just the United States of America. So, hey.
But you see, that's interesting because it injects race into it. There was a smart way of achieving the same thing, right? When Rubio spoke to the Europeans, he was emphasizing the commonness in terms of culture, in terms of spirituality, the Christian faith, right? Those things. He didn't even mention anything about race, obviously, okay? But you can see he mentioned things like they should not be consumed by the guilt of the past. You know what that
means, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Mr. McMahon, Europe and Germany and all those other countries, they are not so much against what is being done. They're more against how it's being done. They're against the fact that it's no longer subtle, it's more blatant. That is the only thing they're really against. Because if you really look at let's be honest. Look at China. Look at Japan. Bad Bunny had a song, and in that song it said he didn't want what happened to Hawaii to happen to Puerto Rico. Let's look at the history. The reason I called it, look at China, look at Japan. They were, if you go back in their history, they were black. And all of a sudden you look at China and Japan now, you don't see, if you're going to find black, you have to go and find where those societies are. Look at a lot of those Latin American countries, Venezuela and Argentina. Well, Argentina is kind of different, but Brazil and all those others, there are big amounts of black people there, but when you go there as a tourist, you don't really see them. They're pushed in the background. And when you look at the reason why Bad Bunny used Hawaii as an example, go back into Hawaii history and you saw there were black people. You go there now, no, they are not. And look at what is happening to us. If we don't be careful as a black people, look at how the women are bleaching out their skins. We're heading there.
One of the points, again, that Marco Rubio made at the same security conference was that the West was going against the grain of human nature when it is promoting things like oneness and rules-based orders and fairness and those kinds of things. I'm paraphrasing, okay? It's going against the grain of human nature. And you have to realize that is what you're fighting, that differences between human beings are very often exploited, and they're easily exploited because of the fact that human nature is such that you tend to galvanize around your own. You tend to be tribal, right? So how?
But it wasn't like that. It was not like that until Europe got dominance. Go back into the times of Greek and all those others. People weren't really looked at in terms of race so much.
Is that really true, though? Is that really true in the sense that
it was not a worldview. That is what I'm saying. It was not an accepted, it was not an accepted worldview that there was this white race and there was this black race and there was this brown race. It was, they existed. They did business together. For instance, Greece, when the Greeks and so on went to Africa and they learned philosophy and mathematics and certain other things, and there wasn't that animosity between them.
So how
to
do
that
you
extent.
how do you explain the fact that the tribal nature in Africa?
There has always been a tribal nature, but it
Right.
but it's but
and
but
that is
tribe-
what I'm saying.
but
Rubio was right in the sense that it may be against the grain of human nature.
But no, that cannot be right because tribalism is kind of like classism to some extent. You understand? But racism is a whole different aspect. So he's saying you're going against human nature. How can you go against human nature? They're reversing the thing. White could not exist without us, Mr. McMahon. They came from us. How is it that people who come from a people are trying to eradicate the people they came from?
I heard
Because
Farrakhan
it's
say
different,
that, what
because
you
it
just
looks
said.
different now. That's the whole point.
So then Marco Rubio's statement cannot be right. You're not going against humanity when you're trying to do things in a just way across the spectrum of human beings. There's another caller. Hello, caller. Okay, lost that. But look, it's frustrating. It's very frustrating.
I agree it is frustrating because the end result is torrid time.
I agree, but I don't think it will succeed.
Okay.
Or let me say, I hope, let me use that word, I hope it doesn't succeed. I hope that somewhere the conscience of human beings, of rational human beings, awakens. I hope that's all we can do.
Yeah, well, yes, I guess we can hope. The whole thing is, though, that it's clear that they're trying to arrest the decline of what he calls Western civilization. Okay, basically heralding it as the best that the world was at its best when Western civilization is dominant, forgetting all it took to get there.
Well, because all it took to get there is of no moment to them, because all of the murder and slaughter is like what is happening in Palestine. We never counted. When you eradicate mice and ants, they have no consequence, and they see us as that.
I don't know.
Look,
You're lost for words?
It's a rude awakening, It's a rude awakening. This is why me as an individual, this is why I say, is the world ready? We are all human beings. If they continue to go down the road that look at their God. Imagine your God is a representation. The Buddha is a representation of a black man, right? But yet still, look at the Chinese race. Look at them today, the majority of them, and go down in China and see if you do. Some of the most prejudiced and racist people are Chinese too, Go into China and
I would have loved to know what happened to the dark-skinned people that you were talking about that were in China.
That exploits, and that's what I think the point he was making, Rubio was making, that it's the natural layer of the land is that, you embrace people who look and think and act like you and defend it against what you call outsiders.
But you see, Marco Rubio is
why
making...
Why you think, for instance, they're not taking such a hard line against Russia as they would other places?
I hear you, but
I
here's
believe
this.
they view the Russians as the natural ally.
But
of
they're
the
called,
West.
but Mr. McMahon, they're called Caucasian.
Yeah.
Look up the word Caucasian and see where it comes from. It comes from out of Russia, the Caucasian Mountains. You understand? So you're right, but you have to know your history. But here's where Marco Rubio is making a big mistake, because Marco Rubio can see himself as close to white as he wants. But I'm telling you, though, they don't see him as white, So he himself is just like the Chinese and the Japanese and all of those
They don't see Rubio as white?
No.
No, I don't think so.
They don't. Because whether he wants to deny it or not, the fact that he has that Cuban blood in him, there's black blood in there. But you see, they're living in denial.
What you call Cuban blood, right? Remember, they were a colony of Spain. So it's quite possible that his descendants were, in fact, Caucasian.
No, because if you go back to the look, I don't want to go in detail. Start doing your research onto history. It is true that the majority, what they did with Cuba and
his parents and him.
What they did with Cuba and with Argentina is that a lot of they meticulously did it. They made sure they flooded the place with Europeans and then intermingled with the what were the original Indians who were there that Columbus met?
Amerindians, Tainos.
Caribs and Arawak?
Yeah, the Tainos. The Tainos. They intermingled. Go back in your history book and you see a lot of those Europeans with people with their wives looking close to black, and they diluted over time.
But nobody is doing a DNA test to determine your what you call it, genealogy and so on, right? They're looking straight at your skin color.
No, they're not, because
you don't think so?
Remember, in the United States, it might not be that way around the world, but remember in the United States that one job still applies. That is why Trump is trying to get out everybody else, and just wants to bring in Europeans. Let's look at history. Anyway, have to take a bit of a commercial break, and we'll be right back. People, young people especially, take up your history books. Marcus Garvey said it. If you don't know your roots, then you're like a tree that cannot exist. Cut off the root, the tree will die. And if you don't know your roots and your history, we're bound to... What we're seeing happening is that the world is they were trying to do it in a subtle way, but because of Trump, it is now blatant. But what they were trying to do is to gradually phase out black. See how much they could phase out black. The only main problem would have been Africa, but even Africa now is a concern, because if you look at almost all of the black women in Africa, once they reach a certain middle class status, they don't see them with kinky hair anymore.
No.
You understand?
And
all
they're
of
whiter
them.
than me and you.
Yeah. So I tell you, the black race is
clearer than me and you.
The black race is in a bit of a problem, because we're 400 years of oppression and brainwashing isn't easy. It has been working. So we have got to find a way to come back around.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9 Win FM.
When the star them there, we are top man, we take charge. Have no reaching go, we are shell down hard. Blast like a star with some gallop. Overdue it, we take it too far. Take charge, take charge.
We are hot gal, we set the trend. Magnum we drink for the top man then. Wine with the style, no stop from spin. At blem, back bend, and take charge, take charge.
Magnum tonic wine for the real star them. Take charge, take charge. Must be 18 or older, drink responsibly. You can win more with the Mega Ball. Pick 3 and pick 4, you could get it all.
Yes, playing Pick 3 and Pick 4 with the Caribbean Lottery just got more rewarding. For just an extra $1, increase your winnings by $1,000 with Pick 3 and $10,000 with Pick 4 when you play the Mega Ball.
You ready to win a little extra? You ready to win a little extra? You ready to win a little extra? Then get on the ball.
Play Pick 3 and Pick 4 with Mega Ball at Caribbean Lottery agents island-wide. Must be 21 and over to play.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hosford's Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hosford's.
Rams the good food people, always there to serve you. Rams the good food people, locations right near you. Rams the good food people, in-store specials for you. Rams the good food people, Rams. When you need better service, Rams is always here. Better value, better prices, Rams is always here. Rewarding your loyalty, Rams is always here. We are community. We are family. We are family. Rams for you and me. We are community. Rams for you and me.
And we're back on Island T with just 5 more minutes before the end of our show. We welcome those of you joining us now. Remember, you can always go and rewatch us on YouTube.
Yeah, as I was saying before that bit of a commercial break, let's do our, as black people, let's do a reality check. Let's be honest with ourselves, especially for those who are of the Rastafarian sector who say we want to go back to Africa. I have no problem with going back to Africa, but be careful the Africa we might be going back to, because that Africa is not what our foreparents would
what
want
taken
it
from.
to be, right? Not in there are still parts of Africa, a lot of parts of Africa where people are cultural and so forth, but in those parts that have been developing, we're seeing a change. If you check that there's Hollywood is from the Caucasian perspective. Then there's Bollywood. I think that's the Indian. I don't know what they call the African.
Nolly is I think it's Nolly.
Nolly?
Wait, let me make sure, because I think it's something with N. But you go ahead.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not too sure what they call the African. But the Africans have their sector that is global now. Their movies are coming out and blah blah blah. But look at those look at the women portrayed in those movies coming out of Africa. Look at their hair. Look at their skin.
I even saw one said as she moved up, she had to get certain parts of her body fixed to maintain top of the industry.
I heard a number of them black
Nollywood,
women.
Nollywood.
Yeah, I heard a lot of them black women, African women, our roots, mind you, saying, "Don't come to my party with your nappy hair." Black women saying that, you know. Black African women saying that. And then you hear them glorifying the fact that they're bleaching their skins.
Yeah, because that's the thing.
Yeah.
But
So we had better be careful, because we might find that maybe the way things are going, I hope not, keep my fingers crossed, we might see Africa in the future and it's like China. And
Fair.
it's like, yeah.
But even I watched a documentary on YouTube where people in Jamaica were bleaching because they wanted to get the jobs at the high class hotel, because they said basically when you, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but basically if your color turn up, you stand a better chance. Turn up meaning you're fair.
Yeah.
We have a caller?
Yeah, caller.
Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T.
Last night there was the Dimash Gras in Trinidad. That is the Calypso finals.
Yes.
They had 12 Calypsonians singing one song. Terry Lyons. She won the competition. That's her fourth time. I don't know, persons may remember her. A few years ago, she had the song about Harry and eating black meat, and he never go back to white meat, something like that.
Yeah.
About his marriage. Well, she got $1 million.
And a car, SUV.
And an SUV. But what was striking, normally they're heavy political songs. anti-government, pro-government.
Yes.
But in my view, there wasn't a lot of that last night. It was more about nation building and prayer and family and coming together. And
stopping
things
the
like
crime
that.
and everything that's going on.
That was the general topics throughout the 12 Calypsonians. I just thought I'd mention that. And congratulations to her and all others who pleased.
Yeah.
All right.
But Troy, in the midst of all that, I think it was more fitting because you saw the parents that were gunned down with the young children playing in the park, and even the young woman losing her life in the sight of her 3-year-old daughter that didn't know what to do at that point, whether to run or to stay.
Hi, good morning again.
Good morning, caller. You're live on Island
You're going to have to be brief now because we're right on the top of the hour. We have to break.
I'm going to touch on your point. Those who want to go back to Africa, let them be certain that Africa will be the way it was before we left, because they will be rejected. Africa is not like what it is. So where you are, stay where you are and try to
Well,
make
don't
life.
say you're going to follow my point and then misrepresent
No,
it.
no.
Because
I
you're
have
completely misrepresenting my point. Because I feel that whoever wants to go back to Africa has a right to do so. My question, however, is how will Africa be? Will it be the kind of Africa that represents blackness? That's what my question is. My only concern.
This is changed. Everything has changed.
But for you to say that we will be rejected, I disagree with that, because you might be surprised to find the amount of young black Africans who are looking at Caribbean history now and realizing there's a similarity between us.
Well, you know what? I will come after that.
Okay. Okay. Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Okay. So we're going to have to wrap up. Is there any final word you want to say, Hortensia?
No, just to our regular and everybody that listened, tuned in, watch whatever you did today. Thank you so much. And
let me see if I can squeeze in. Hello, caller.
Quinn, before I was Hortensia wanted to ask me a question.
Yes. Go ahead, Carter.
I was saying the song was very fitting because I don't know if you realized, excuse me, my voice wants to go now, the parents that were gunned down in front of their child, well, the mother, she was the last one to be killed in front of that 3-year-old that didn't know whether I should stay, whether I should run, whether... It was terrible. She lost both her mom and her dad.
Yes, a very, very powerful and touching song. And it was just an awesome competition. I really enjoyed it.
But to your point that the Calypsonians are moving away, well, let's hope that it continues from just this strict politics and dealing with nation building and that kind of stuff. I think that is good, because too much they dwell on the petty political issues and we don't really get anywhere.
Indeed. I'm not certain by one. I believe there may have been some encouragement of some sort by the government to stay away from the politics and deal with these other issues. Listen to a couple of conversations. That's the impression I got. I might be wrong, but it worked.
Well, if it is true that, and I wouldn't disagree with you, because the politicians, they can't take criticism. We know that, so they don't want you to say, So I would understand why they would want you to lean away from it. But Calypsonians, I hopefully will not completely move away from it, but they will be more diverse in their topics, as opposed to everybody just singing about politics. Sing about politics and politicians when it is due, but sing about nation development and the awareness of what is happening in and around us. Yeah.
And strangely enough, in one of these songs, I heard a mention about the U.S. and the radar thing they have in Trinidad and Venezuela. I didn't hear a lot heavy lyrics about that.
Yeah.
But she was, and it was a white, almost. Well, maybe 75% of the Calypsonians had white associated with their costume or their performance or something like that.
I think that may be an ode to peace or some form of normalcy, something.
Perhaps.
And that is another thing I go against. Look, do people understand that black is the only true color that combines all the other colors of the spectrum? People aren't aware of that, you know. People see black and they say, oh, black. Black is dirty. Black is the purest color. Everything comes out of blackness. So here you have black hole, the black hole, the universe and that. But do your research now. This is where we want our young people to understand. Do your research and you will understand that out of black, out of the color black comes every color, including white. And out of white, you can never get black. And certain other colors.
Exactly, you have to mix something.
You have to mix them.
Exactly.
So they twist everything upside down and they make you feel, so now you're bleaching your skin to be.
I was just going to mention that. I hate this bleaching thing with a passion. We're trying to look like white people and white people trying to look like us.
By tanning, right?
Tanning, and we're trying black
and
people.
both of us messing up our skin cells, you know. The tanning and the bleaching, you know.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Well, I know of a situation where there's an individual in St. Kitts who don't like to wear black. He's black, but he don't like to wear black. Because maybe he doesn't highlight, but I understand he's bleaching now too, so I don't know.
Wow.
So, all right, guys, have a good day.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
That's how we end things for today.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
When the star them there, we are top man, we take charge. Have no reaching now, we are shell down hard. Blast like a star with some gallopar. Over we take it too far. Take charge, take charge.
We are hot gal, we set the trend. Magnum we drink for the top man then. Wine with the style, no stop from spin. At blem, back bend, and take charge, take charge.